way, why does Gable Steveson have another year? That has never been established, and we all chalked it up to that he had an Olympic year. We've all said that, but the NCAA never said that. We've never got an official answer on how they got him back in the door. Does anyone know for sure?
I think it was marketing purposes.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
That same way.
Yeah, they just,
I mean, that same way. And it was the right move. But I'm just saying, like, it's been 7 years or something, really. You know, I contacted the NCAA about this.
Really?
I contacted them to find out if they had approved an Olympic redshirt year for Gable Steveson. And they're supposed to tell me. This isn't like hidden news. And they got back to me. And they said, Chael, we cannot confirm for you. Had they made a ruling, they said that they would have had to tell me. But listen to how they worded this. They said, Chael, we cannot confirm for you that there was ever an application turned in on Gable Stevenson's behalf for an Olympic redshirt year.
Wow.
So that's what brings me back to this question. How did we get to this mystery year that just popped up? And by the way, he would be eligible for an Olympic year, but you have to file that after the fact. And according to the NCAA, that paperwork was never turned in.
Interesting.
Wow.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think that, you know, the way I've seen it work is if you're not Penn State, you pretty much can make it work for whatever you need to make happen because they want to make the sport more entertaining and competitive in some way. Because if we just win all 10 weights, then it's like, come on, you know, what's the point? So I think they want to just maybe help build up the sport a little bit. I notice a lot of these other programs, they get away with a lot of stuff that we don't. So it's hard to say exactly why.
Aaron Nickal, did he and Braxton Davis have an official wrestle-off anywhere?
There's a potential official wrestle-off that happened. No. Actually, you know what? Now I'm getting confused. We've had a bunch of 133s this year, but there's not been a wrestle-off between them yet.
He's recovering from an injury.
Yeah, Nickal has an injury.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So as of now, this season, it's looking to move forward with Braxton as the guy.
Yeah. I think that if Nickal could get healthy, that they'll give him a shot, but he's not 100% right now.
I felt so bad for him. You know, first off, he's a cute and sweet young guy. The reality is he's a hardened Big Ten champion. He's an adult. He's 18, but it didn't feel that way. When I saw him lose at Nationals when everybody else is cleaning house, and he was right there. I mean, Braxton was this close to being a national champion. Instead, he even gets pushed out the backside. It was so hard. Oh, my God, I felt so bad for him.
No, for sure.
He did look – that hurt him. That hurt him to see all the success that was going on around him.
Yeah.
And I hope that he does have a very good year this year.
Yeah, you know, it's been interesting to see him because I feel like he's bounced back pretty well, just seeing him in training every day. And, you know, I think he's made a lot of big improvements. He's obviously looking good the first part of this year. And, you know, you see some guys that happens to them and they kind of shrink, you know, they shrink back into their shell and they don't want to get back in there. But he was like one of the guys that I saw the most in the training room over the summer.
Yeah.
And I think he's made big improvements. And I think 133 is a good weight for him too. He was towards the end of the year just getting that was a lot of weight for him. So, you know, I think he feels better at a higher weight. And yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I mean, he had I think he beat the number 4, 5, 6 guy from Little Rock. He beat Nasir Bailey, an All-American this past.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, he just beat him.
Nasir. That was like 2 weeks ago. Okay.
It was. Yeah, he beat him.
What about Crooklyn, Bo? I'm sorry to interrupt, but did he run into Crooklyn?
Crookham?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
He lost one takedown.
Yeah, it was a 4-2 or
4-1, 4-2, something like that. Real close. But yeah, that's a tough weight. All the weights are tough. They're all stacked. And I'm excited to see how it plays out. I mean, obviously you have Penn State kind of at the top, but it's been exciting to see, you know, Oklahoma State, Ohio State, Iowa have a bunch of young guys in their lineups doing well. And I think the sport is so much better when there's just more variety. When you can have somebody there's a challenge, there's a team race, there's people, you know, vying for the title, it's just more exciting. I think that the viewership has actually gone down in recent years, and I think that's in part because of how Penn State's dominated. But I'm hoping that we can get some people to compete with us moving forward.
There is such a battle right now. I mean, it is one of the most competitive things in all of college sport, the battle for second. Very fun. Right. See, nobody cares. You can't get any headlines. But if you start arguing, well, if Ohio State does this and if Michigan gets these guys healed, look at what David Taylor's doing out in it's really fascinating. I don't know who I think. I don't know who I think the second team is. I know that people are saying that it's Iowa, but Iowa versus Oklahoma State in a dual meet right now. That's a very interesting matchup.
Do they wrestle this year? They wrestle a lot of years. I don't know if
They have to.
Yeah, they have to, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah,
they
that's
have
like
to.
one of the oldest rivalries. I don't know when it is. I don't know what that date set. Kevin Dressler's been to Iowa State all of a sudden is a player in the top 5 conversation. I feel like he did that pretty quick.
Yeah, they've been getting some good guys, some good recruits. They have an interesting Cuban connection. They've got quite a few Cuban guys. I know they're heavyweight.
Yep,
Bastida. They got Echemendia, and I think they got another Cuban guy as well. So there's some type of Cuban to Iowa State connection going on. That these guys are doing pretty well.
Dresser just made a comment on that, and he I'm going to try to act it out like I'm him. Oh yeah, it's great. These guys are good wrestlers. They're not as good on bottom, and they don't listen as well because of the language. They get tired. Like he was trying to compliment, and he's just gonna find it. But I do know what he means.
Right.
Like that Echemima is as dominant of a guy when he was coming through high school. I don't know that I'm fully convinced he was of high school age, but I remember man, he teched them all in both styles.
Yeah.
He could barely break a sweat and had like 20 matches in 1 week. He was really
No, he definitely didn't look like a high school kid. The birth certificates are always in question when you're dealing with Cubans and Russians, to be fair, as well. But
you guys want to know who I got huge compliments on? Yeah. I heard that Mark Hall, as a coach, that he is like going to come into his own. Like everything that he did, I'm told by people he will like go into Hall of Fame for coaching. That he was one of the most involved, present, gets athletes on his own, comes in, private time, actually cares.
I'm see
told,
that.
Like all the new guys that are coming out with these coaching gigs, allegedly Hall is amongst the best of all of them.
I believe that.
Is he at Penn?
He was. Now he's at Oklahoma. He's at Oklahoma now.
He is?
Yeah. So right after the Olympic trials this past summer, he's at Oklahoma. And what's interesting is he actually took the director of operations position at Oklahoma, but new rule change for this year. It used to be if you were director of operations, you could not wrestle with the team. No coaching, nothing. You only did operations. Now, if you're director of operations, you're allowed to wrestle with the team. So, I think they saw that, Oklahoma maybe saw that change, thought, all right, Mark, this is basically going to get an extra extra coach on our staff. So brought him in as director of operations. And, but yeah, I'm sure he's doing that job, but I'm sure he's also wrestling with the guys.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
And that's out there. Roger Kish took that head position.
Yeah, I
Roselli
believe so.
left. Kish took the position. I wonder what Kish's tie-in is with Mark Hall. I'm surprised to hear this. I'm surprised that I didn't know that.
The only thing I could think of is Kish is Minnesota. Mark grew up in Minnesota, so there must be some connection. But I think, that's I don't know. I've never heard Mark talk about like knowing him or anything like that. But some type of Minnesota connection. It's just crazy after the Olympics. It's always a scramble for where everybody's going to go.
Yeah, and stuff gets lost in the mix because that should have been way bigger.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of that, it's very hard to get clarity after these last Olympics. I assume Kyle Dake is still wrestling only because I have not heard him say otherwise, but that's a little bit debated. And then I'm assuming Jordan Burroughs is still wrestling, which I think is like a real inspirational story if he is, but that's never really been clarified. It's kind of interesting to know where we are, like particularly with 74 kilograms. You got Carr coming up, O'Toole's ready to fill that spot. My favorite wrestler to watch is Levi Haynes. They all ran into each other at the trials. I'm just saying, like, it's really interesting, but I do wish I knew who we can expect. Are Burroughs and Dake going to just keep doing this, or are they going to move to 79 kilos? Or
I know Dake's in for sure. Dake's in training and, moving forward with competing as far as I know. I'm seeing him in there every day. So he's in there. Burroughs, I know, competed in the World Championships, didn't really do great. I think probably like the first time he hadn't medaled in a long time. And I would think that, I don't know if he'll do 74 again. He might do 79. And I think that most people have kind of vacated out of 86 as well. Obviously, David leaving, Aaron announced Brooks announced he's going up to 92. So 86 is pretty wide open. You have Zahid, but I don't know. Maybe Burroughs would moved up to 86 because
Brooks did announce 92, and the reason I ask, I know he said he's leaving 86, but there was always thought that it was going right into him and Schneider. He's going to stop off at 92?
So for the World Championship years, yeah, he'll be at 92.
Okay.
I don't know what it'll look like come 2028. You know, that's a long time away. But, yeah, I mean, he's going to be 92 for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, Aaron looks like a tank right now.
He's
too.
big.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. It could be Sadulayev and Brooks. That'd be something to look forward to.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. That's fun. Yeah, that's a fun one. If you guys like that clip, check out the whole podcast here and make sure to hit that subscribe button.